Hello, I'm Kazuya, and here's my audience. How many of you guys have been to a different country other than the country where you were born and raised? I am from Okinawa, Japan, but I left the small island almost 3 years ago to study here in the United States. With that decision I made a couple years ago, I was able to become a wiser and more matured person than I used to be. Today I want to help you understand how important it is to see the different culture and perspectives, and I hope you guys will get my point. Before I get started, I would like to tell you a little bit about statistics. According to the State Department, in 2013, there are almost 150 million valid passports in circulation, which means 36% of Americans own a valid passport. But that also means 64% of the rest of the Americans do not have their passport as well. With that being said, more than half of Americans have never been outside of the country. But why have such a huge amount of people have never left the States? According to CNN.com, one of the biggest concerns are culture and geographical diversity. In the States, there are so many places that they can visit, and they can do all kinds of things without needing a passport. There are also cultural differences that they can see between the South, the East, the West, and Midwest as well. However, I want people to realize and think again if they are going to travel in the States. Even though there are so many places that they can enjoy and have some great experiences, but the experiences with cultural diversity are limited. I know some differences exist even in the States, such as different dialects and different accents, but they never step out their comfortable zone. They would be little worried if they were traveling around the States. When I first visited the States, I had plenty of fear and nervousness. It's because I didn't know anything about the people, culture, or lifestyle, and the biggest fear was communication. How to introduce myself was the only thing that I could communicate with people, and other than that, I couldn't communicate with people at all. Of course, I couldn't even understand what they were saying and what they were trying to tell me. I was so scared, and I wanted to go home as soon as possible in the first 2 weeks of living here. But I think this kind of feeling is the most important thing for people to experience. To step into the place where you are not sure if you'll be able to survive or not is absolutely challenging, and people normally get scared. But facing this kind of fear makes you a much different person than you used to be. My first 2 weeks were definitely meaningless because I had been thinking and acting with Japanese customs. I didn't even try to accept the differences between here and Japan. I didn't even try to look at the reality of what I had faced during that time. However, after I spent a couple months of being here, I had gradually changed my mind compared to my first 2 weeks. As I lived in a different country, I realized I needed to understand their culture first, because that's the way it is for this country, and I respect it. I respected their difference because I respect their differences even though it was something that I had never known and never seen before. Realizing and learning those differences was definitely meaningful, and it upsets my sense of values. The things I have learned in Japan to be common knowledge are not the same anymore here in the United States. It was absolutely unusual for me at first, but once I got used to it, it was so natural and I felt very comfortable with it. Another reason why people should go out into the world is because there are so many opportunities and chances to meet someone you have never met each other. Until I came to the States, I didn't have any friends from foreign country. I was always hanging out with Japanese people. But after I came to the States, I made lots of friends who are not only Americans, but there are also friends from other countries such as Germany, Spain, and South Africa, and so on. Now, if I want to talk to them, then I just need to take my phone and call them by Skype or FaceTime. Isn't it wonderful? I am Japanese and I was born in a small island, but now I have friends all over the world. As you can see, once you step out from your small world, there are a lot of chances and opportunities in front of you. I know it's a bit scary to step into a place where you have no idea about the people, culture, and languages, but to get over the fear makes you much more mature, and it will change your life of values in a good way. I stepped out from a small island where I was born and raised, and now my life has been changed indescribably. I was also able to make lots of friends from lots of countries, and I'm pretty sure that those connections will help me in the future, sometime in the future. If you have never seen and never been to a different country, it's time for you to save your money and find a place where you have interested in. Thank you. And here's my audience. Thank you for listening.